fit that way. In other words, there's not for the easements and everything that it can fit long ways.
So they can't put them long ways.
Yeah, as long as they can't put them, if they can't put them like facing, then because the property is not wide as wide enough for it, then they can turn them the other way, and the mobile
Good
home.
deal, because I thought that was kind of a
Yeah.
bad ordinance anyway. I mean, what does it matter which way your mobile home sits if it's in a mobile home spot?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
understand.
good deal.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
or however, and just let, or just let us know how we need to go about that. Do we need to have a certain amount of signatures, or do we?
We have an ordinance on it.
Yes, I know y'all have an ordinance on it, and I was, at one of the meetings I was here, y'all addressed the ordinance of a lady having an RV at a, commercial site out here that y'all made her move it off of. And as I was driving in this evening,
opposed? Motion carries. Dan, you good? This is a town hall meeting squared away for this. Anything help with that, just get with Angela and myself and make this work. Number 6,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, appreciate it.
review, discuss department report utilities on the water department. This is still kind of a work in progress, guys. It's not exactly what I'm looking for here, but we're getting there.
It is, right now, it seems with all of their billing cycles and the way that their reports are. Now, it'll be like a month behind because of, from the meeting. So this one is from last month, next month will have this one because of the billing cycles and how it turns out.
Okay.
It's just.
Watch some minutes report. So,
Well, this is the
And
report.
those will go along with number 11 as well, sorry. Because our reports for the water department will kind of fall in one behind because of the way that the billing cycle goes.
Well, of course, yeah.
In between the billing cycle and our meeting. So that kind of looks like a little bit of last month or the same. I did find out that there was a question on, there was 2 at the bottom, and one of them like billing a payment plan. Those were made before this system, and so they've been closed and no action was taken on, so but they just keep showing up and there's nothing, the accounts are, I
Okay.
did find that out for you.
Thank you.
It may look a little different for next month because, like I said, it kind of goes
Work in progress.
work in progress on the reports of what they can get from time to time. And that, again, goes, sorry if I'm moving ahead of myself, with public works, because we've got kind of director, I try to get the information that they could put on there, with that.
any questions on this?
So am I right when I read this and it says, we billed out $106,000 for the month? And we received, $92,000 on the payment? Up till 2/19?
If I'm learning to read those right as well. I am learning the water department as well and trying to learn their reports.
Because it goes on down and then it's got a total of 104,000. And I'm just wondering if that service categories and service orders completed, and those payments that are made.
I think
And
the
so that
service
e-
orders are completed maybe like if they, like I said, I'm still learning these reports.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Like I said, some of them have a little bit to do with the
Yeah.
parts and I don't have anything different for them.
Well, it looks better on the 104 if we build out 106 and we got back 104.
So we're also, Fund View, not their fault, we're, in a transition with them right now of helping because of the way our meters are reading. in the report that says council's report of what y'all would want to see. That's how we're.
Any more discussion on the water? We'll move on. Number 7 is review, discuss department report code enforcement.
Well, council, I don't really have a whole lot to go over for the code enforcement portion of my job. We do have a lot of permits coming in for manufactured housing and businesses being built. Trying to really stay on top of that. And just to give an update on the fire department, I've been working on that for the last 4 weeks. The original quote to redo that flat roof was $55,000. So far, between labor hours, materials, supplies, and tools, we are just under $12,500. So as of now, we're saving about $42,500 on the fire department roof. We are planning to pick up code enforcement work. I have probably 2 or 3 days left to trim work on the front end of that department, and putting the fillers in, sending some screws into the trim. That's about it. Y'all have any questions for me?
What about the property on Nolan? That y'all tore down the building there?
Yes.
Lenny Neat Jr. deal?
Yes.
Is that gonna be removed?
So, since the price for the machinery is so steep for one house, we're going to look at getting some other properties knocked down along with it and possibly clean the 3 to 4 up at one time. We're going to try to get them all knocked down, and then once we get the equipment, we'll try to clean them up all within a couple weeks. Because if not, that'll be a pretty penny getting a machine for each and every one. I am also going to get with a condemnation specialist that works for the city of Abilene. Some of these houses that are in terrible shape, I'm going to try to start condemning them and see if we can at least flip the property to someone that wants to rip it down to the studs and redo it. I've seen them do several houses in my neighborhood in Abilene, and I think that's something that we could ultimately benefit from. So we're going to try to start switching gears and doing something like that to help the community out a little bit more.
So is the one on Indian Creek still needing to be cleaned up too? I think it caught on fire. There's one on Indian Creek where you live that, and then they kind of tore it down. Yeah. But it's all cleaned up, cleared out? All right, good job.
And the lien's been paid as well.
Fantastic. I know that was a lingering deal there for a while. So good job.
Anybody else have any questions?
Thank you, Brian.
I know we're not to animal control yet. We don't really have a report for them. We are in the process of gutting the kennels. We have several kennels and kennel walls that were either the flat metal was rusted through completely, and even the bottom of the gates were literally just the 4 sides of the tubing left. That it's so rotted. So we are in the process of tearing the walls out. We're going to redo all cinder block each kennel. The taller kennels, we're going to make double deckers so we can house medium dogs on the bottom and smaller ones on the top. So that'll hopefully add about 9 more kennel slots. And it'll be a lot more better off to maintain, so to say. But if y'all have anything else for me, I'm going to excuse myself from the rest of the meeting. I'm going home.
Thank you, Brian.
Understand. Thank you, Brian.
Y'all have a great night.
You too.
discuss department report, police department. Mr. Thompson is in class right now, so.
He is in Huntsville this week.
Kind of,
Um,
go ahead.
I will try to explain a little bit if there's anything on there, what he told me, I can remember any of it.
I know we have a new hire, Madison Boone,
Yes, sir.
for the admin assistant.
Yes, sir.
So, another hire was James Sullivan. I haven't met him. He's for the animal control officer. And Justin Huston is the new kennel tech part-time. If I understand, he's been pretty involved with cleaning up the kennels right now, so. I am not up to speed on what's going on with ICE, so. Officer Chavez? Could you explain some of this ICE to me? What's going on with the arrest?
I don't have a paper that's in front of you, but
See like maybe 3 arrests, is that correct?
so the ICE on roadsides, traffic stop occurs, find out one of them or a couple of them are undocumented. We call ICE to take over. We don't take them to Taylor County. They go to their own facility. It's just a transfer of detainees or transfer of custody. So it's really all about that.
Any questions? Everybody good? Thank you, officer. We'll move on to number 9, we did the animal control. Unless y'all have some more questions on it. Number 10, review, discuss department report of municipal court. Ms. Welch here.
She's like 5 minutes out.
Let's track over to public, to number 11, we'll come back to 10. 11 is review and discuss department reports on public works.
Like I said, I tried to
Have
put
a
them in.
report,
What reports they showed at the bottom of utilities, if there was any.
I know they've done a couple of, main line repairs. We had a line hit over here at the RV park behind us, a 4 or 6 inch line. It was marked, but they still did something else that's for another date that we discussed something else. But anyway, they've been working down at Leicester Park. Recreation has been working on parks, raised parks. That'll be another subject we need to talk about in the future meeting. Trying to remember everything that I know.
Well, I guess it's pulling up that old pipe that was in the
Yes.
front that was falling over.
Yeah, it's all listed out, it's in bad shape.
That's good, it's just,
We're trying to do
Yeah.
some beautification there.
yeah, for sure.
We're trying to look for some ways of redoing it without spending money. Maybe some labor, but we have our costs of other than that, can't think of any,
So
so much going on.
in Public Works, Treva, if y'all have not met her, amazing. She has stepped up and having to do a whole lot on her own. Where it was her and the public works director that we had, those 2 593 of them by herself.
Well, it was a good day when she came back to work.
It was a very,
If I noticed right, we only had one meter reread this last time. Just one.
I don't know how it's working, but I know, like I said, they're trying to get Fundview and our meter system
I mean, that's good, I mean, I'm not
working
complaining.
correctly. But how to do that, she literally had to go take pictures of every single
Yeah.
meter and the numbers to send to them, and she was the only one that could do it with the app, or the part that was on Fundview. Because we went from 2 to 1, and so she did them all. And submitted them all.
Yes. Any questions on Public Works right now? We'll move on. Ms. Wilk, show up. Oh, there you are. Come on up. We'll go back to number 10.
Good evening.
It's the municipal court. Review, discuss department report on municipal court. Crystal Welch. Any questions from Ms. Welch? Nothing? All right. Thanks for showing up. Number 12, review, discuss the Rice Park recommendations for upgrades from planning and zoning. Mr. Reinhardt?
All right, as you can see on your screen, I believe it was back in November, December, you guys tasked us with coming up with some updates to Reister Park. The engineer had done some stuff back in 2020, or 2020, but then COVID hit and everything, so a lot of the upgrades kind of stalled out. So you guys tasked us with coming up with some different phases to the Reister Park and some upgrades and amenities and stuff like that to add to the park. So taking some of the suggestions from different citizens and then also with the planning and zoning meeting, we came up with this to see if we can go ahead and get some of those amenities in the different phases. What you guys asked me to do is bring them to you, and then you guys would say, yes, we like those amenities, or hey, we want to add this amenity or take out this amenity, whatever, and then what phase is first, second, third, and fourth. As you know, they have already been doing a lot of the repairs there, so some of the pictures are probably pre some of the repairs, so you'll be able to see that. Again, some of the photos that I have on here are not of the park, they're just stuff that we took off online just to kind of show, hey, well, here's a sample of what it could look like. Is it working or no?
Yep.
Oh, there it goes. Okay, so it's delayed. All right, so these are some of the before pictures on the next few pages of some of what it looks like before any of the repairs were done or any of the repairs that still need to be done. As you can see, this is the concession stand, but if you look at it, it's also the restroom right on the back of a concession stand. So you're just looking at it, it's falling debilitated and stuff like that. But you look at the restrooms, it's like, why would you have concession stand where food and stuff like that served right next to a restroom on the backside of it? So that's some of the changes that we're going to talk about here in a little bit is some of the things that we're going to change on that. The ball field, interactive playground, playground sets, fence, power supplies, wires underground, playground materials, a pavilion and content and features option is just some of the things that are in this PowerPoint. So these are the current bathrooms. As you can see, they definitely need a paint job, but there's some wood that's rotting, some of the things that are coming off there. So one of the things was to separate the concession stand to a restroom is to go ahead and take the restrooms and build another restroom across the street from it. Once we get some of the other upgrades later on, is also possibly doing another restroom out towards the pavilion that we're thinking about putting out there as well. So this would include trying to run a sewer line down to it. It would also require a lift station to be able to do that up there. So once I get the map up a little bit further, I'll show you where that sewer lines we thinking it should run. Again, so just looking at the current, and then again, this is just a photo that we use. It's not anything specific, but you know how it could look a lot better and be a lot more sanitary than trying to put a concession stand next to a restroom. So it could upgrade the look of the park as well. Again, there's about a 5-second lag. So if you look at, this is the ballpark that you see now. These are just some sample photos. If you can look at it, just the ball field itself, there's all kinds of the cocklebur, sandbird kind of weeds on the playground itself. It's uneven. The soils are very uneven, so you know anybody playing on it could get hurt, could twist an ankle or whatnot, or you know again the sandbirds, they don't feel very good if you fall on them sliding into second and have a bunch of sandbirds on the side of your leg. The other thing too is if you look at the fencing and everything, a lot of the fencing is rusted, it's coming apart, and so there's a lot of sections that are not safe to be around. If you look at some of the electrical outlets, there's bird nests up in some of those. So again, you're looking at a potential fire, sparking, stuff like that. So you got a lot of electricity that is running through those things. I believe those are all LED lights up there, but again, you still got electricity that's running through those. So these are some of the things that are being addressed or need to be addressed. Again, the current ballpark and future concept of a ballpark, what it should look like. And then you have your interactive playground sets and everything. This is something that Tedco Tyco back in 2018, they spent, and you'll see some of the other play sets as well. They spent over, I'm trying to remember, it was like $90-something thousand for the play sets and getting them installed, getting everything set up the first time. Again, with COVID and everything else going on, not having the manpower or the funds, so to say, to keep this up and everything, a lot of things have been debilitated or stopped working. So before, these used to make sound and stuff like that for the kids. Not anymore. They don't work. The other thing too is on the playground sets, as you can see, this should be like either bark or small bark to where the kids can play on it and stuff like that. But it also has a weed block underneath it. As you can see, a lot of the weed block is coming up through the bark, and grass is overgrown, and cockleburs and creeping grass and stuff like that has grown over this playground area. Again, these are trip hazards. Again, if kids were to step on those cockleburs while they're playing, again, it would absolutely hurt them. Whoops, went too far. Okay, so there's just again. Is it going like crazy or what? That's all me? Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so while it's catching back up to us. There you go. All right, so as you can see, this is grass in the playground area has grown over all the the mulch and the sand around underneath the swing sets, stuff like that. You can also see the perimeter plastic barrier has also come apart, and there's nails, like it has a big old spike that holds them together. Several of these areas have come apart. Some of those spikes are actually sticking up out of there, and I believe some of that has the stuff that they can repair quickly has already been in the process of being repaired. And as you can see, the play set that's right there, it is leaning over. Again, you go over there and push on it. It's still very, very solid, so it's not in the process of like where it would tip over on somebody. But again, it is leaning, stuff like that. So it's this is probably be best just to kind of maybe move it and kind of get it in with the other play sets. That way they're all together. But again, it needs to be set up right so that it's safer for the kids to play on.
What's the concept of those barriers?
Is to keep the, in other words, keep
I understand
the
what
mulch
it
and
was
everything
put
there.
there for, but
Yes.
those things are not doing any good whatsoever. You'd be better off just removing them right now so you can mow grass and spray weed killer there and get that stuff back to grass.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, in that area, it's supposed to be the mulch or the sand is what
Correct.
the kids, the
Yeah.
mulch safe for kids,
Yeah.
and then the sand. So you'd want to have some sort of barrier around that area so that way the grass doesn't grow into that area. But you don't want any grass growing in that area.
That's what we'd like to see on the right.
With the mulch and stuff like that. All right, so this is what you were referring to earlier, I believe, Kenny, with the pipe along the road and everything. So as you can see, several areas, whether it was a car accident or whatever, it's gotten hit and gotten bent, it's pushed over. So if it keeps doing that, if somebody's over there playing, walking the dog, whatever, and another car hits and everything, it's nothing really solid to really stop that vehicle from going into there again. So trying to get this put upright, try to get it solidified so it will stop another vehicle from going into the park. Also going throughout the park, you have that railing that goes around the inner circle. As you can see, a lot of it is rusted. It's bent. It's fallen apart in several areas, and so that barrier does need to be have attention where it needs to be sanded down if it's or if it's rusted through, replaced, and then repainted to protect it from future rusting and falling apart. So along here, if you look along here, it's barely enough room to fit a smaller car through there, but there's a lot of the outlets that are there. I believe they're either 30 amp or 50 amp outlets meant for parking and plugging equipment into. Some of the things that we were looking into that we presented to you in the first round was possibly having a flea market or something like that in there, and then having that for like food trucks stuff, and where they can plug into this. But where they currently are at, and we'll talk about that in the future, where they're currently at, you really can't fit a vehicle in there. It's just too tight to fit a vehicle in there of a food truck size. Again, this is just getting us a closer shot of the material. So I scraped away the grass underneath it, and it still has good bark up underneath it. But again, it's going to need to be pulled away, put a new weed block down, and put new mulch in that area, and then also treat it so that way the this sandburrs and stuff like that doesn't grow up back in through there. The sand underneath where the swing sets were, that was sand and everything. Again, it's pretty much washed over, washed away, and there's not a whole lot of sand for underneath the swing sets. Okay, this is the pavilion that you currently have there and some of the sitting areas around the park. If you look at it, it looks like when they originally built this, and again, the front one on the very left-hand side, that's the main pavilion at the front of the lot. This was, again, purchased by Tedco Tyco and installed by them. However, for some reason, it looks like it was never painted. so there's no protection to rust. There's a lot of rust on it. So again, it really needs to be rust treated, and then primered, and then painted again to make it last longer. Same thing with all the other little small pavilions that are throughout the park. I believe there's like 2 or 3 on the other side that are also there for the people to eat and stuff like that. But again, they do need a serious paint job to protect them from the elements. Also, if you look at the third picture on the right, that is the sidewalk that goes into the main pavilion. That is about an 1.5 inch lip to the sidewalk. So there's broken concrete throughout there that needs to be repaired so as not to cause a trip hazard. And this is the barbecue pit. I believe there's already things in the process that they're going to be working on that to get those looking a little bit better. If you look at the parking lot right in front of the large pavilion, you can see there's a lot of potholes where the asphalt and stuff like that has caved in. So you have a lot of trip hazards, or it's potholes all through up in there. That's where the main pavilion is up front right now, where they park. The one all the way to the right is a drinking fountain that is non-functional, and so it's just kind of sitting there taking up space right now. And I know there's some ideals that are in place that they want to do for that as well, and I believe that will be on, I think that's on your talking point next, Kenny, on the next agenda point?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, it's about a 5-second delay. Again, this is, like I was telling you before, there's a lot of signage up there. A lot of the signage is, as you can see, it's twisted, it's bent, whether it got hit or whether the wind took it or whatever. So a lot of the signage throughout there. Again, TEPCO Tyco, they were, back in 2018, they did spend a lot of money, so they still have their signage up there as well. There was no there was a formal resolution that they would take care of the maintenance of the park, but in 2021, there was no formal resolution made to send it back to the city, but there is mention of it in the minutes stating that the staff notified the board that the maintenance of the park was sent back to the city back at that time in 2021. Okay, so the picture on the right is the artist's depiction of a dog park. So the one on the left is the possible area, and the next one should show you a bigger map that we can talk about a little bit more, getting into the different phases and the options that we would like to talk about. So the front of the road, where the main highway is, and then where the first road of the park is, that's where we're thinking that we want to possibly put the dog park. So here's some of the concepts that we've talked about. Is phase 1 is running a sewer. So right now, you really can't see it, but it, let me see if I can get in a future picture. No. So right now, and you said it's the one with the red dot? Or where did it go? Oh, he may have called, okay. And it doesn't work there. So basically, up above this area right here, it would be about right in here somewhere is where the sewer line comes from the main highway over, and then it goes up like that. So we would take the sewer line and take it and run it all the way down to right about here. So it would come from here and run it all the way down to here. That way we could get into the new restrooms here. And then for another picture I'll show you is we're thinking about possibly putting another restroom over here somewhere if we do the flea market concept. And then we run that pipe here and then back up over there. And then we talked about the electrical boxes as well that are over there, is possibly moving the electrical boxes, as you can see the blue box towards the back there where the parking area is possibly moving the electrical back there so that when we do have a flea market or other events going on, they can move up food trucks and hook them up to that area and be able to gain fees for renting that area. The back of the parking lot from the Dias Air Force fence all the way to that road. The measurement, it's approximately about, if you did it about right, you know, not any of the big, you know, dualies or anything like that, but average size cars, like maybe a small SUV or something like that, you can fit approximately about 200 cars just in that back section there.
That's not good enough,
I know it's not.
because you're in Texas.
Yep.
Look at how many pickups are in here.
Yeah.
It's
I hear
like
you.
going to Lowe's or Home Depot. The way they got their parking areas,
So you can get about 50
No, I hear you.
pickups.
Yeah. So like they have a section with the bigger, where the pro parking is where they have made the bigger ones. I know what you're talking about.
you work at Home Depot?
Yep, 26
I
years.
keep my mouth shut. But their pro section,
Yeah.
they just redid it. It's the worst.
Is it? I'll let the corporate guys know.
Where are you gonna put this, if you were to have a flea market, where are you gonna put the people on the flea market?
Okay, so that was on the last one. I did put it on here because that was on the last one. Again, so the flea market areas would be back in this area right here. So as we discussed in the previous meeting back in December.
Okay, so where are you talking about letting the food trucks, as it says, remove electrical boxes from here,
Yeah.
where are you gonna put them for
So
the?
right now you have, I believe it's 4 boxes here. You have 4 more here. We can put 4 more here, and I believe there's 6 along here. So that would give you 6, 10. That give you 14 large food truck spots.
So they would all park inside,
Yes.
and they would all be driving in there?
Yes. Well, there's.
Just, if you
Yeah.
tried to keep grass up, you'd just be destroying the grass.
Yeah, that's why we're not. That's because we're gonna make it to where they don't drive here. There is an inlet right here, and then they would drive only in here.
So what if we use that field that's up above
Yeah, to the
to the
north.
Okay.
instead of driving through all of our grass all the time?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I want grass.
Even with the foot traffic and the cars
Mhm.
and everything else,
Foot
after doing it
traffic's
2 or 3
gonna be bad.
months, you're not gonna have any grass.
Yeah.
What if we just put the whole flea market to the north?
Don't we have enough property there to do that?
Oh
we
yeah.
have lots of property.
There's a lot of property up there. Yes.
Yep.
Ain't no grass up there
No,
anymore.
no.
It's a very on level too. So the only other thing that I would suggest then is if we did that, it'd be great. But then all the electrical boxes that are down here, where we were thinking about putting the food truck, then we'd have to kind of think of something up in that area for that concept too, to do the food trucks. We could probably do it on just that one side, which is 6 there.
Well, that's what I was sitting there thinking, you've already got some there, just continue it on down, let them all park right there.
Mm-hmm.
They're outside the fence, but off the roadway.
So just kind of add a few more down that area.
Well, plus most food trucks I know of have generators, so they don't have to plug in.
No, they don't. They don't.
So,
So that's
They
an option
prefer
as
it,
well.
but-
yeah, they prefer it, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's about,
Making that dollar.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I do see moving all those electrical boxes on the far right where you got all that in blue.
Yeah.
And you talk about parking food trucks, that's where you can park food trucks. And have, GQ Public parking to the north, cause that would be good parking up there. Then you'd have all your food trucks and close to the park. I mean, what are you gonna do in the park when you have these food trucks? Why are the food trucks gonna be there? For the flea market?
Mm. Or large events. You know, because I'm pretty sure you guys are probably thinking, since it's 250th anniversary of the U.S. this year, that you're probably going to think of something big for July, I would think. So just different stuff like that. So what you're saying is instead of so still remove here. You're saying, Greg, if I'm getting you right, you're saying here and here.
No, I'm saying in that blue area.
Here?
Yeah.
What if we just made all of that whole blue area, the
Food trucks.
food trucks and the,
You could park to the north.
Is that gonna
Here's the problem on that south side. You got all those electrical boxes there.
Yes.
And where would you park those? You'd have to park them on the north side of those pine trees. You can't park them in the road because they take up too much room.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying remove those down there.
Oh, remove
Yeah,
the
that's-
ones in the blue, that's why that blue is remove those electrical
Yeah.
boxes. Yeah,
So this blue right here is to remove the electrical
Yes.
boxes from here.
yeah, that, when they put those pine trees, they should have put them north and south and then park between those pine trees and plug in,
There you go.
and that would be perfect. But that didn't happen that way, so.
Yeah, so, yeah, like I was saying, remove them here and then put some here. But, you were saying, try to add more here. Yeah.
That would be my suggestion. Because if I'm not mistaken, where the small blue area is, in there, don't you already have some picnic tables and stuff set up over there?
You talking about right here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you got one here, and I believe there's another one like right here somewhere.
Well, we do sure need to revisit our ordinances on that Ricer Park because
Yeah, that's the
We
next.
here's the thing, you know, I remember when they did that park and Ken Law and did that park. And that was for Little League, it was for, softball. Matter of fact, we used to have softball leagues out here. It needs to be accessible. We don't need to try to get somebody to pay $20,000 in insurance, and I'm not trying to, I'm just saying, you know, for us, people to go out there and use that park, that ball field, they just need to come down here, put up the deposit, and go use the park. So we need to make sure that if we're gonna do this, we need to do it right and make it accessible
Mhm.
for people to use it, because if we're gonna spend all this money and not ever have anything over there, what's the sense in spending? How much is this gonna cost? Have y'all,
That's
Got an
that's why we're trying to
evaluation?
get this all put together so we can submit it, which you guys approved already, is to send it to the engineer to get it, all that figures for us.
because I'm gonna tell you right now, you're probably looking at least $250,000. Just the ball field alone will take you about 80 grand. When you start doing that, you know, it's just a lot and lots of money, and I'm not
Mhm.
opposed to it. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, I'm for it.
Mhm.
But we sure definitely need to have a definite, floor plan or whatever you wanna call it. And then every, the cost of each one and what we put into it and what we're gonna get out of it. Because I'll tell you, I firmly believe the city of Ty, we need to have brisket, cook-offs. I mean, everybody does it. Everybody has softball
Mhm.
games. Everybody has a ball field. The only thing you can get here, you can't hardly get Little League because the insurance will be outrageous for us. I've already checked into that. But you can get, what they call travel ball. And those guys will use that field all the time, travel ball.
Mhm.
I'm
A
not
lot
gonna
of them
tell-
have to go to Abilene, they come from these other places, and Ty is almost the perfect spot for travel ball.
Mhm.
And you'd have that thing going all the way through the,
Yeah, and what they do
Little
is pay
League.
a fee to use.
yeah, of course.
Pay
they
fee
would.
use, okay.
Yeah.
I don't wanna tell off on how long ago it was, but I used to play softball for Harold Ford, and we used that field.
Yes, you
that
did.
field all the time.
Mhm.
And it was nice back then.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Wasn't that far back.
Maybe a
eh?
year or two. Yeah.
This one
Um,
had a different color to it.
Yeah, so what you guys are thinking is, so are you guys good with the restrooms for now?
I got one thing you need to check on though, is see how far we gotta park away or be away from that base fence.
Okay.
Because if I remember right, they don't want us right on it.
Yeah, I don't know. But that's a
Parking
wide
lot,
section.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
It's
you
very
can
wide
stay
section.
10 feet away from it and still
Just
have
wanna make
30
sure
or
that
40
we're
feet.
aware that when we start doing something,
So I'll partner with the IS engineers.
yeah, see what they recommend for us to stay off of it.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of, possibilities here.
Yeah.
You know, if you could, like where those pine trees are, if you say, okay, well, maybe you don't put the playground back where it's at now. And if you're gonna redo that playground, the swing sets are about to fall over, right? They're weak.
They need to be restructured.
Yeah, and so if you just had that little pavilion there, you move that stuff somewhere farther down, and then kinda utilize that area where those electrical boxes are for, the flea market area, people coming in with flea market or with, food trucks, right, in that area, cause you already got a parking lot kinda.
Are you talking about where it says to remove?
Yes, because those boxes are there, they just need to be reworked.
Well,
They're
the
just
thing
falling
is
apart.
You can't, where those are at, between,
Yep.
there's a fence there, and you got the trees, it's not big enough for a food truck to get back in.
No, but if you come in from this side and stay on that other side to the north of those trees, there's an opening right there.
Talking about right here?
No. So,
Yeah, 'cause
yeah,
there's a,
that's actually comes off.
yeah, this right here
That you
comes
can
off,
drive in there.
yeah.
So if you got the kids out of the way, I'm just, saying, I don't care what minutes, but, because you already have that electrical there, and you upgrade that electrical, and it's just change out the plugs and stuff, because they're not that bad. Then you could drive in and you could have, people parking.
Well, then that goes against what you said earlier about keeping
Yeah,
everyone
that's
off
what
the
I'm saying,
grass.
but you would have to know that this wasn't gonna be the playground area anymore. Just move that over here and keep all this grass. It's just a thought, because you got this parking lot right here. This is basically not gonna be used for anything, really.
Well, see, I was actually thinking where the playground area is, move it over into that area.
Well,
To
there's
have a
another
bigger,
thought.
bigger place
Yeah.
for other things, and then keep the,
So you're saying like this right here, make that this here?
right,
Okay.
and leave the north side of the road for your,
Well, the grass is a lot better right there,
Yeah, it is,
by that, it sure is.
okay.
that also opens up more space for other things later on in the
Mhm.
future. By moving that playground around there,
Okay.
just my thought.
No.
Well, my opinion on the whole thing is, I know we need a park, and I know it needs to progress quickly. However, the state of our plumbing and the state of our roads needs to be
Yeah.
addressed before we look at
Yeah.
the park.
We're definitely not gonna get it done by July.
No.
I'm
That-
sorry,
no,
but-
yeah, no, I'm saying that you're probably gonna want to do something, not that this would be done by then.
Oh, right,
But
right.
you're gonna want to do something.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, yeah. No, so this one right here is basically, everybody wanted to walk, park and everything, and just, going down there, just sitting for, here and there throughout the times and everything. A lot of people are going and they're doing walks around here and everything,
Mhm.
around it. So, the original concept was to put a walk trail through here and everything. But I'm thinking, just to make it easy and simple, is, since we're gonna, like you said, redo roads and stuff, but we redo this and just add another little 4 foot on it, and then paint the line for a bike trail and put little markers, hey, quarter mile,
you know-
whatever.
I understand everybody wanting all this walkways and bike trails and all that, but we keep forgetting about all that land we had to the north. Why don't we develop some of that for
That's in the future slide.
walking and biking and there's, I like that idea.
If I recall correctly, from the entrance, going around to where you get back to, yeah, if I remember correctly, it's exactly 1/2 mile.
1.5 mile.
That's what it is.
When she said she actually walked in and she had her, what was it, your watch, whatever? Yeah, her watch that told her, she walked in this 1/2 mile.
Half mile long, that's good.
So, but again, so then the dog park that, some were suggesting is here's that main road up here, because a lot of people that I've been watching, they were doing their dogs here, or they were doing their dogs over in here, when they were walking their dogs, letting them do their thing. So a lot of them were doing it right in that area when I was watching. Okay, next phase. So again, later on, this could be moved anywhere, like, so if, let's say you did this here, this could even be over here, doing a larger pavilion. This could have, if we, again, if we did the flea market, stuff like that, or if you guys wanted to have, like, live shows, or, you could have like inside there, when we do have the flea market, we could also like rent spaces within that, for covered spaces and stuff like that during the flea market. But again, you could, let's say you have your 4th of July show, you could have live music there and so on and so forth. So it's a larger pavilion that you can have for different events and stuff like that. In the off time, you can also have maybe like, you know, where the stage is, and maybe have electronic equipment for maybe movies at the park or something like that. So having like you know, have the kids come there and they can all hang out underneath the pavilion and watch some shows or whatever the case may be, kind of like a youth friendly kind of concept. So there's as long as well as the adults during different bigger events. Please. Mm-hmm. Okay. 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 And then getting to the flea market, then again, would we still do the flea market down this side or still up above it?
On the north side.
Okay.
Of the road.
Okay.
Well, you actually have electrical power on that north end,
Yes. Yeah, you got a
right by that.
you got a main station right here,
Yeah.
and then you got another one right here.
Mm.
The main power coming into the park. Again, this is another person was wanting, or I shouldn't say a person. Several people were wanting a splash pad, a recycled splash pad to recycle the. In there, it filters it and recycles it and reuses it. Again, it'd be up there to where on the north side is one of the areas that we were thinking. But again, if we wanting to use that for a different area, that's again, this is where we're trying to figure out where we want to put it. All right, so one of the things that was in the past is we do have that large area, as you guys were talking about up top there. One of the other things that they were thinking about is in that disc golf course is adding, if we did this, right, but also adding maybe a couple water feature ponds or whatever up in here. Again, with the golf course, you can also, you know, maybe make a walking path around that area as well. It was another suggestion that was made. Any questions, comments, or discussion?
Hey, with the repairs that you was talking about earlier, if I'm not mistaken, haven't we already hired someone for the parks to start doing these repairs?
Yes.
Yep.
And I'm assuming that that's the person that's been doing the repairs that you're talking
Yes,
about.
mhm. Yep.
I could use one more if you want, I don't know.
You know, I tell you what, with the work that needs to be done, it wouldn't hurt to hire one more.
So another thing that they was suggested was having a youth center, having a place to, again, trying to make this park, you know, friendly to all ages. So having a youth center here, that's one thing that Tide doesn't really have, is somewhere where the kids can go and have fun, play, whatever. So in the youth center, we can, you know, either do like a, again, depending, again, that's future planning and everything. But some of the suggestions were to maybe have it to where there could be a large, you know, maybe like a community center that we have right now, maybe incorporating that in there so they could have rented a rental spot, but also having areas for kids to play, different, maybe electronic games, physical games, just different things, whatever the kids would like. But also having areas around there, as we talked about before, is maybe even outside of there, is maybe having a little garden. You know, kids can be interactive with outside stuff as well. To take care and maybe beautify the outside of the youth center. Again, these are just suggestions that were inputted from different ones. So there, again, the youth center, and making it to where the kids can go in there and have fun, enjoy it, but also be safe instead of hanging out in the streets and stuff like that as we continue to grow.
I love the idea of having a youth center in Tide.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's the best place for it,
Okay.
because your youngins, they're gonna wanna get on their bicycle and ride down 707.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think that's a good idea.
Yep.
Personally. old location.
I know another spot I like, but we don't own it.
It's
Right over there, by Greg's house, all that property, the old school.
Oh, yeah.
I know the man personally.
I wish we had that property, that's a perfect place for youth center.
I've thought that many times. It's got a basketball court, needs some renovation. Take those white buildings out. Big parking area,
You know,
big
that
playground, and
place
another
was
park.
bought by a trust, so a trust owns that land. It's not an individual, it's a trust. And you know what, we need to somehow force their hand over there, because there's electrical hazards over there, that is just a hazard.
I am constantly
And-
boarding up windows, running kids out of there and off the roof.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Just as a city,
Careful, Greg.
I don't know,
Yeah.
Samantha, maybe there's something we could do, you could look into that, maybe how we could force their hand, if you go take pictures, that's a bad place over there.
I've asked code enforcement to start
Yeah.
looking more into that.
Well, I'm just saying, there might be some way we as a city
Yes.
can,
And Merkel used to own that.
yeah, we try to buy it, and then they wouldn't sell it to us, then they wind up selling it to them.
I know.
You know, how sad is that, right?
I know that the man that's taking care of it, that I deal with on a personal basis, is
Yeah.
gonna be down here in the next 3-4 weeks. I'm sorry? I can't answer that. I wish I could, but I don't.
I just feel like there's
That's-
something we ought to be able to do to like demo that place. You know, I've talked to that guy too, I don't know if it's the same person. First he had his wife, 2 kids there, staying in that little white building, and then they come over there, started working on it, said they were gonna do a little retirement deal, and old folks home, then it was gonna be a learning center, and it was gonna be this and that.
I think once they start looking into the removal of those buildings is when it,
Yeah, and then they put a roof on that one building, but yet they
now
didn't
there
do
is one
anything
other
after that.
area I thought about for a
Yeah, I
youth
wish we
family
could tear
center.
that thing down, that'd be the
And
perfect.
that's where we
spot.
used to have the museum at. And it's right next to that little
Gazebo,
gazebo park area.
it's a nice little chunk of.
It's a good little piece of land over there.
Another option would be,
Didn't the city of Abilene do some stuff with that old Lockheed building?
Yes, they did, I don't think they
I
got
don't
it tore
know how
down
far
yet.
it went, but, I mean, could we do something similar to that?
Well, they're still working on trying to get that out of there.
Because I think they're getting fined every day for not making progress, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Yeah.
need to do something, cause that's just terrible.
another option might be to build another community center there and turn the existing community center into a youth center. That way it's right by the basketball court or pickleball court
Mhm.
or whatever it's gonna be.
That's an idea.
And it's all on the same property and it's central to town. I mean, there would be
Has a
very few
kitchen.
kids that would need to cross 707 to
Kitchen,
get to it.
restaurants.
So to me, that would be the most currently available place that would be more feasible.
There's.
And that's where the bus stop, that's where the bus stop and stuff is too. So like during the winter cold months and everything, they could have it open to where the kids could wait inside so that it isn't so cold and stuff like that, or rainy or whatever. So just, yeah, I see where you can go with that.
You know, and then just build another community center down here by the park. That would also be a benefit for the aging and disability and for the food pantry, cause it's right there at the park.
Yeah.
There's all kind of parking, there's all kind of access.
There's a lot of things we can do.
Yeah.
Like
All right.
somebody say back there,
Yeah.
money?
Money. Yeah. So one of the things, so the other thing too is once we get this to them, they're going to be starting the grant process, and the grant process does take a few years to get full cycle back to us and everything. So we're hoping to start taking care of some of the smaller stuff. So if we do get approved for a grant, that will hopefully help with the larger stuff later on down the road. So they are looking into grants because there is grants out there right now for parks. And so we're looking for assistance from grants, possibly Tyco, and also from the city. So basically, hopefully with the three, and then once we do like flea markets and stuff like that, start having events down there. Again, recycling that money back into the park. So whatever money that park brings in, it goes back to the park, is what we're hoping. So that'll go into that fund. Again, that'd be your guys' decisions, not ours, but that would be the suggestion that we're making. That was fun. That was fun.
I mean, put amenities in that you guys can charge people to make money off of.
What is it? Top Golf. It's basically, they have, again, we'd have to worry about the height restrictions because of the planes and stuff like that, but we'll have to, but yeah, basically, the one in Austin that I used to go to all the time, it's a 3-tier, and they have like golf tee-off boxes, and then they have a big old net over the whole thing, obviously keep the balls within that area, otherwise they go all over the place. And they have like different obstacles out there and they have it yardage, 100, 200, 300, 400, whatever. And you be standing up there and you just basically get so many balls and you get to hit them, but they got food, drinks, and all that kind of stuff. Just basically hang out and hit a ball all day. It's a lot of fun.
You're taking the frustration out.
Yep. 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 Okay, so just kind of going through what I'm understanding so far is we're talking about possibly moving hit play area over here, possibly doing the Larkin Pavilion here, moving the electrical from there to here, so we can have that food and everything, and then having this area to where for events, stuff like that, you know, having the live music instead of youth center, making this a community center, disc golf. There wasn't a yay or nay on that, so I'm not sure. But doing the water features, stuff like that, and then having the walkway park, like we were saying, make another walkway here. But again, we can also make that one there. That's a quick, easy one.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a quick, easy one. Is just make that road just a little bit wider, and then do spray paint with the markers on it. That'd be quicker fix. But again, later on down the road, you know, doing this down here. And again, the city owns all this property all the way up here. This is where your dog animal shelter is right now. So again, you know, this is something where, you know, we can kind of, it's all one property. I mean, it's divided property.
The city's got a lot of possibilities. It's how
Yes.
we want to utilize it, and where
Yeah.
we want to spend the money.
Yep, exactly.
That's another problem.
Yeah, that's somebody else's property, yeah. So Ricer Park goes from like right here, down this way. And then this is, you know what, this is a good view of,
Ice.
Sky. Yeah, this is his property right here. So this right here, so his property is right here, and so what he's doing is he's dividing it. So, just,
Yep.
I did not forget I had that picture about that earlier. But anyway, so, okay, so as of the, so before we send it over there, what you asked me to do is come back and get you guys approval, get your approval on, what amenities, that you do want and don't want, and where you want them, and so we can have them start designing it for us. And then get us, that way we can start, once they start designing it, they can start doing like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, and all the way to phase 6. Obviously, it's gonna be over a time period. It's not gonna all get done tomorrow, I wish, but not gonna happen. But again, that way we can start, you know, like let's say, hey, we wanna do the restrooms or whatever, that kind of stuff. Start getting that kind of stuff, the sewer line going. They can get us a ballpark figure of how much stuff's gonna cost, so we can start reaching out to the different ones to see if we can't get financial help in other areas.
But you know, we can do right now, the way that thing is, you could have a brisket rib cook-off deal, right there, right now.
You talking about around the park itself?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just got one thing, you're saying move that youth center, or not the youth center, but the pavilion right here, to the north side. My only thing with that is if we're gonna be utilizing the baseball field, at some point, we're probably gonna have to warm nets out here. That's that every,
They're gonna have what, I'm sorry?
warm up nets.
Okay.
You go in there for warm ups, you know, I don't know your yard or baseball,
Yeah.
probably potentially put that right here, get over here for the opposing teams or something like that, maybe down here. Move that to this corner right here, and everybody, if you are having a concert or something like that, and everybody's lining out like this, in chairs or whatever, and you got a park right here, now your parents are pretty reasonable access for your parents. You know,
And
kids
that works too, because with the crowd off, then they can still get to the food trucks and stuff probably even easier. So, yeah, his idea works very well.
So you're saying put the large pavilion here?
Right.
I would do less food trucks.
No, I like that.
No, that's
because
what-
it's more accessible for everyone.
You got parents with their kids are out there, you got over here, kids are way over here for food. You got, if you got all of this area, that part will be here, you know, that you can have crowd. If need be. And then even if you have to overlook into small parts of our, depending on what kind of.
No, I like that, because then it's easier access for them to get to the food trucks during concerts, things of this nature.
It's easier access.
So you're
because
saying-
of that we need to protect at all costs.
So in other words, what we're saying is we'll still take the left go out here, but then put it here, and then you'll have the food trucks here. Here's what you're saying?
Well, the food trucks still be on the north side.
Over here?
Right.
Okay, so not here.
Correct.
Okay.
And
You
then
got all
if,
that parking
if
down
you put
there
the
as well.
pavilion where he's suggesting, and everyone's sitting out there, then it's just real easy for them to get up, go to the food trucks instead of having to go around the pavilion and things of this nature. So his idea is great.
Okay. So again, one of the things that we were talking about, and I guess I thought I had put it out here, but I guess I didn't. You know, we were talking about putting that one restroom here, or
Right.
like events over in this area, community center, whatever, and then you should have a restroom in here. But maybe later on, you know, putting, you know, like I said, restroom somewhere over here.
And possibly, but if you're holding like concerts or something like that, where it's gonna have crowd, you're gonna have porta potties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
You're right.
That's just for the big events.
Right.
Okay. All right. So you're saying still do it, still do the restroom here? But again, if we do the community center, we can always, you know, they'll have restrooms inside.
My suggestion, since we're talking about doing, flea markets, is move your disc golf course farther out,
Okay.
and maybe the, youth center or community
Community
center,
center,
whatever
fine.
is decided upon, further to the east.
Okay.
Give more room for your flea market to set up.
Again, this is not the scale, this is obviously, but. Yes. Okay. Okay, so that'd be the parking area, basically, what we're saying? Yeah. And that'd be great, because the community center's gonna need parking too, so parking is, okay. Okay. So going through the different amenities, let me get back on my pages and try to flip back through it. So the restroom and lift station, are you still good with that being over there though?
Yeah.
And then the dog park, one of the suggestions was, like, what we were suggesting, is the dog park.
Hello.
I don't know what happened there. Huh? Did I just something or?
I'm sorry.
Well, I see where he was gonna point. Okay, there it is.
Yeah, back up there, okay. So right here, it's having the dog park up in this area right here.
You know, with no more room than we've got over there, that's a good spot for it.
Yeah. Plus it has a lot of trees, shade, stuff like that, so there's sun and shade in that area that they can utilize.
Now, are you gonna just have one big dog park, or are you gonna divide it up smaller bars?
You tell me.
I think it should be, have a divider fence.
Divider fence for large breed and small breed? And again, it went off again, I'm not sure. Okay, and then, the other thing too was, is the battery going low or something? Okay. Okay, so the other thing, he said pavilion.
There it is.
Okay, so the splash pad, what was your thoughts on that? I mean, that was something that,
Over close to where your park's gonna be, to put the splash pad in the corner.
talking about
splash pad up in the corner or the playground, and then the other one down below it.
So back all together right here. Okay.
I mean, the splash pads don't take a whole lot of room.
No, it don't, it don't, it don't.
No, no.
But then again, we're wanting to, like I said, the sewer, let's see, yeah, so the sewer comes across here, and goes right about here, and then comes up here and goes down across here. So what we want to do is take that sewer line right here and connect it up and bring it all the way down to here. So that way if we ever need to run sewer further down, we can with more lift stations. But again, with there's, he's gonna talk about that next step. But we can do this, drain here, but if you had a water, we can always, add that to the drain as well.
What is the bathroom water now? Is it septic?
Septic, yeah, so, I don't know if you can see it or not, but you got the drain fields, so there's the fences right here, and then the opening to drive in is right there, and the septic drain fields are right here, or leach fields, or whatever they call them.
How about, why not put that splash pad, that park and tie down? You've already got a bigger water main there and an existing sewer line.
I'm sorry, I think that should already be something on
Yeah.
the upgrade on the all city parks. The next item,
Yeah, the next item, huh? That's the next thing I'm gonna do, they can talk about that. Okay, so. And then where did we say the park, so we're just down here on the bottom?
sorry, this is,
I don't know why I keep doing that. Maybe it's because we're setting out too long, sign them out. So this area down here, what did we suggest down here?
I thought that was gonna be parking.
Well, but he was saying that we can move this down, and make parking here to the community center and give some park there too, or did you want to add parking here?
I was totally parking, additional parking back on the back side.
Okay. I'm just doing it so I can redraw it, so when I talk to the engineer, we'll figure it out. And then we'll get with the DICE engineers as well to find out about the restrictions, how close to the fence and all that stuff, which I understand for security reasons.
And if we start having large events out there like what we're talking, they'll probably have someone sitting out there anyway.
Yep. Yeah. Maybe they might want to have their own people out there and enjoy the show. That'd be fun. Have to have all the military guys on the other side. All right. Okay, so is there any other amenities that we did not talk about that you would suggest putting in this area?
I think that's, right there, you're looking at quite a few phases.
It is. It's 6 different phases, and it's over multiple years.
Yeah, personal opinion, let's go with what we've got for now.
Okay.
And then,
We need to tweak a little bit on the way. Okay, sounds great. Sounds great. Okay, and some of the events to pay for this would be, well, wherever that clicker is, go to the last one. And so some of the events that I'll pay for this is what we're talking about. And he already left. Top Golf. I'm adding that to the list because that is fun. But anyway, probably not there though. So flea market, having a monthly flea market, and we've talked about, the one that's not, the second weekend of every month is the one that's not taken by most of the other larger events around this area or to speak of. Some of the other things we call classic car shows, and you will never guess who wanted this one, Jeep Top Off event. You don't know who that is, right? Yeah, I know. But anyway, they also suggested other things we could have there, maybe have a circus, carnival, music events, holiday events like trunk or treat you guys do there. Make it a little bit bigger, maybe having some other stuff like that. Drive-through holiday light event. So maybe even leaving some of those plugs along there, so they can have different people sponsor to put their light show up, and they can just do a drive-through, and you charge X amount per car to drive through there. The light show like some communities do. You have your back-to-school party at the park. Maybe have movie nights or something like that at the pavilion. Fall festival, non-holiday. You don't have to have a Thanksgiving theme or just have a fall festival. just to enjoy it, maybe having hay rides, stuff like that. You can have disc golf tournaments, baseball tournaments, dog races. There's all kinds of different events that you guys, looking at other cities, what they do to make money and stuff like that, and have different events to, have more people come in this area. And so when they get the shops up and running for us, and hopefully that'll come faster, but then we can have drive local business as well. And so that'll help with sales taxes and money spent in the city of Ty. So, again, thank you guys for listening and going through this. I will go ahead and take this along with the contract down to the engineer, and then have them start working on this to get something more professional than what I have for you. All right? Thank you.
It's 7 o'clock there. Isn't it? 7 o'clock? You know if that's it? Okay, let's, I'll move us through this next one real quick. Number 13 is review, discuss, and consider upgrades to all city parks. And really, it's just, as far as upgrades, it's, we're wanting to get the basketball courts in all of the little parks back up, got broken backboards, fixing those, putting up nets, making sure the swings are in good condition, chains aren't all rusted, seats aren't all cracked and broke. Just really going through, and this doesn't really count for Ryston Park. These are your smaller little parks around town that the kids could utilize a lot quicker and a lot faster than they can Ryston Park right now, unless the parents bring them down there. So that's a lot more accessible right now. Of course, we are talking about spending some money. I don't see a whole lot of money on these parks. There's not a whole lot in them. There are some activities they can do that actually probably need to be taken out because they're old, they're rusted. I don't know that I'd want my grandkids playing on it. So those are some things we need to remove and then think about replacing them with something else. But swing sets are pretty easy to maintain and fix. If they're rusted, we'll jerk them out. We'll set another frame in there, put some seats in there for them to swing. Everybody loves to swing. So. That's about all I have on those as far as not spending a whole lot of money, but we're going to spend some. The rec guy's going to be taking care of all of that. Any questions? Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Really nothing to consider unless y'all just want to make a motion to let me spend money. Yeah, I think so. Okay. Okay. Number 14 is review, discuss, and consider the fee schedule for a workshop. At this, I would consider right now, guys, if y'all save some time right now for this meeting, is let me go through some of these and come up with a fee schedule and then bring it back to you guys and say, hey, this is what I've come up with. And then y'all can say yay, nay, change this, change that. Instead of sitting here for the next 2 hours trying to figure this out.
I like that idea.
Yeah, well, also, we have the paperwork, so we can all come in.
Yes.
I've read through all these things here. I think it's a good idea. We can, each one of us take the time to look at that, come in with our own
And then when I could come in here with what I can say, this is what I have, guys. Y'all tell me what you think. Instead of us all sitting here back and forth for the next 2 hours trying to figure it out.
We can do this at the next
Yes, sir, we'll do it.
council meeting.
We may do it at the special call meeting that we're talking about having. those in favor? Right, motion carries. Number 15 is review, discuss, and consider approve minutes from the regular meeting of February 17th, 2026. This should be in the back of your packet, guys. Have y'all had a chance to look at it? Ask for a motion.
Make a motion to accept the minutes as read, or as written.
Have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. So, here in the back, we have two applicants. I kind of semi-interviewed, just kind of to see what the guy knew. Not this guy, there's another one. He lived in Winters. He had a Class C license, backflow license. He really doesn't have any experience in supervising, don't have any experience in budgets. Yes. I didn't mention no names of that. Okay, at this moment, Favor?
Aye.